Hello, listener. Stir the Pot is a podcast about murder, crime, cryptids, and all things spooky. Naturally, there may be some content in these episodes that is uncomfortable to listen to. If you still think that this is the podcast for you, we'd love to have you join us. But if not, this is your official warning to turn back now.
Hi.
Hi.
40 seconds, by the way. That's what it is.
Hi.
Hi. We had to do house cleaning, housework. What do like businesses call it when they have to do like bullshit maintenance?
Yeah.
But yeah, housekeeping. Yeah, we had to do some bullshit housekeeping today, but
yeah, but now we're like more high tech.
Yeah, we got it. Now we are in it to win it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the outro.
Yeah.
I'm so Velma, by the way.
And I'm Shaggy.
Welcome to Stir the Pot. Look at you go.
I know my own name.
I'm so proud of you. So how was work yesterday besides
it was fine. It was actually good.
Okay.
2 kind of long days, but
any other news in your world or any news you want to talk about?
Did you hear about the only thing that I can think news-wise is did you hear about the girl that's missing in the Dominican Republic or whatever?
Yeah, I did, and they're calling it Natalie Holloway 2.0. Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
And there's that guy that like clearly knows something but is like giving him like 6 different stories.
Yeah. I don't know though, cuz like
he might not have done it.
He might not have done it, and like they said that her clothes were like on a bench and it was late, so like I could easily see like skinny dipping and getting lost in the current. It could have been something,
but like, okay, if you were being interviewed for something you did not do, don't give them more than 1 story.
Right.
That is where you fucked up.
Yeah.
You may not have done it, but you fucked up.
Right. Yeah.
I feel bad for the kid because I heard that they were folded. Very well could have been out there. I did hear somebody was talking about how like and I thought this was kind of bullshit. They were talking about how the tide that night, nobody could have drowned in that. It was like a normal tide, but like, can't somebody drown in like 2 inches of water?
Yeah. Anything can happen with water.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. The part of the story that made me be like, this is wild, is when he was like, I pulled her out of the water and then threw up on the beach, and she said she was going to walk away, and then I turned my head and she was gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird, but also if you're drunk, like, you don't know, and he could have been blackout. Like,
right.
Really could have been anything.
Well, another story that I heard is something else he said. He went to lay down and because he was drunk, and she wandered off, and he didn't see her again. And that was it. Yeah. So, I mean, like, all this, I mean, it sounds believable, just don't change your story.
Right, yeah.
So,
I did hear that the family, though, wants her to be, like, pronounced dead so they can just have some closure and grieve, which is...
I understand, but
I understand, but also it's so soon, like...
Yeah.
But also I understand.
Like, I get it. Yeah. But when it comes to water, people don't really fuck around. Like, that's kind of, like, a scary situation.
Yeah. Water is so scary.
Mm-hmm. But that'll be something we'll talk about at some point, I'm sure.
Any news from you?
I do have some Luigi news.
We need like a bulletin, like
well, or what?
Ooh, like mash those together.
Yeah, right.
EDM Luigi.
The lawyers are not only trying. I know last time I was talking about this a little bit. They're trying to get some stuff thrown out, which is like all of the evidence and what have you. However, once again, none of these guys that are committing these crimes, and I don't mean this to be mean, have ever listened to any true crime podcast, and it shows. The police officers offered him food and drink. That's how they got his DNA. He didn't give it up willingly. Mm-hmm. And it was also before they gave him the Miranda rights, all that stuff. So, like, there's a lot of problems here. Yeah. So we'll see if it does. I don't know, though. Because, like, I feel like if it does get thrown out, it's going to be a big thing. There's got to be a lot more to be done before this gets thrown out. Yeah. But we'll see what happens.
It's going to be a minute.
Yeah, we won't have some time.
Yeah. But come back next time for
next
another
time.
update.
We didn't make it to 100,000 followers before last episode, so...
Sad.
That's fine. It is.
Next time, you know what? Here's a new challenge.
Here's
for
a new
you
challenge
guys.
for you guys. It's just an ongoing challenge.
Yeah,
Like
ongoing challenge.
It is what it is.
Once you hit it, you'll have such a good reward. You don't even know what it is yet.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, wow, why did we wait so long?
Yeah, why did this happen? Why are we here? Why did we let this go? Rip Rod.
Yeah.
Brought the first episode in.
Yeah,
so.
there we go. This is the episode that's going to tie all the episodes together.
Yeah, apparently. That's what Shaggy was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for Would You Rather?
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to do 2 of them today.
Okay.
Would you rather have the gut-wrenching ability to walk into a room and know how many people have died there?
Ooh.
Or walk into a room and you can see a vision who died there in the grim circumstances of a demise?
The second one's not making sense in my head right now. Like, you just see a vision of how they died?
Yeah, I guess. And, like, the circumstances of how they died.
I feel like I'd go with that one.
Yeah, because, like, that's a one-time thing. Like, what if you go into a hospital? Like, then you'd see 1 million people.
Okay. Because I was thinking going into a house. And, like, if I'm going to know how many people died there,
right,
I might as well know how.
Right.
But also, if it's a whole vision, and if I'm having, like, a That's So Raven moment, and
just
like,
yeah, then
then
one
like,
is
I don't
fine.
want to do that, actually.
Yeah,
I would just rather have a whole number.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd rather only have one instead of more than one.
That's true. But, like, if you just get to know a number, and you walk into a room, and you're like, 47, what happens then?
Oh, yeah. Then that's not badder.
No.
That's not
badder at all.
That's not badder at all.
Badder.
It's not bad.
Like,
if I just knew the number, like, 32.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's fine.
I would be curious, though.
Yeah.
But also...
But then I'd want to know how.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can't have one without the other.
Yeah. But if I had to see how they died, that would be a different story.
But what if you see how they died and you solve a murder?
How often do you think that would happen? Like, you walk into a lot of rooms. Like, every time you walk into the bathroom, you hear 32, 32,
Ooh.
32. Also, every time you walk into the bathroom, you see a grim demise of Elvis as he was going down, as he was timbering. Sorry. I gotta get it together. Okay, you ready for the second one?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you rather be stalked by a vengeful spirit that can manipulate your reality until the boundary of reality and illusion becomes indistinguishable?
Some of these have such big words and,
know.
like, so much, like...
I did great just
you
now.
did so good.
I want to just point that out. I did really good.
Yeah.
Or be trapped in a time loop where you relive your most dreadful life experiences over and over for all of eternity.
I don't remember what the first one is because I just got distracted by the words, but
I know.
not the second one.
Or would you rather be stalked by a vengeful spirit that can manipulate your reality until the boundary of reality and illusion is indistinguishable?
I'll take that one.
I don't know if this one's a rough one because I don't want either.
I don't want either of them, but, like, the second one is just, like, the same shitty day over and over for eternity, and the other one, like, I feel like I could have fun with it. Like,
a vengeful spirit.
I might not know what's real, but, like, if I got some demons and I'm having, like, a really just weird, like, weird time, at least it changes day to day.
Okay, I guess I'll go with that
like,
one.
maybe one day the devil is drinking coffee and the next he's drinking Red Bull. Look at him. Then we can have a conversation and I can solve things with this vengeful spirit.
Down here, is it Red Demon instead of Red Bull? Or do you guys still drink Red Bull?
See? And then this is how all good relationships start. With, like, one little, then the devil's like, you noticed?
Excuse me.
Yeah. And
you know
then
how
we
to play
become
violin?
besties. And then he changes my reality for the better.
Yeah.
So I think if he's gonna, manipulate my reality, why can't I manipulate his?
So there was one time I was
not even answering the question.
So this is kind of related to the devil drinking coffee. I'm still on that part.
Yeah.
I told my aunt once the people that drink black coffee don't have a soul, and she got, like, really upset with me. And I was like,
did she drink black coffee?
Yeah, she did.
Oh.
And she was literally getting her coffee, and I'm like, yeah, have you heard? People that drink black coffee don't have a soul. She's like, well, I've never heard that. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like...
She was trying to cover it up.
Well, I'm just like, I'm kidding. Clearly, like... That's like saying gingers don't have a soul. Like,
Yeah.
come on, buddy. What are you talking about?
Get it together.
Anyways, I know you've got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to go ahead and do my reefer report, then we'll get going.
Cool.
Today, I'm doing another Swisher Sweet because that's my favorite, and I'm doing Blue Z, which is actually an indica. Blue Z or Blue Skittles. Anybody that's listened to this podcast before has known I tried Skittles with a Z before, and it never works out well. So see us at the end of the episode for the reefer review.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Loved it.
I try to make it a little zesty.
We should just add like 5 seconds every episode.
Yeah, just doing some stupid noise.
Yeah.
I'll start so that way I don't get sued. Because that's my biggest concern.
Or do the little like add-on. So like you did that, and then so next time you add another piece, and then you do that piece, and then a new one.
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
Yeah.
And next time I'll do the roar.
Yeah, so it's like review, do the roar, and
do the roar, do the roar. I don't know why that's been stuck in my head forever. I haven't even seen Shrek in probably like 10,
Isn't that
15
like
years.
the weird fourth one or something?
Yeah, it's the one with Rumpelstiltskin that I maybe watched one
Yeah.
time, and for some
That part
reason
does stand out though.
do the roar. I don't know what it is. And Shrek is just like, leave me alone, child. Do the roar.
I do love Rumpelstiltskin though.
I know.
That's my favorite fairy tale.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you watch Once Upon a Time?
No.
I didn't. I watched up until like Peter Pan got in there, and then things got a little fucking weird. But it was all right. It wasn't terrible. But I liked a lot of different fairy tales. I'm trying to think of what my favorite, and I'm not trying to talk Disney movie because like Disney movie, I'd say Toy Story, and Anastasia would probably be my princess. But I'm not going to go there because technically she's not a Disney princess. But my sister. Okay. This is going to sound nuts, and my sister's going to murder me if she ever finds out I told this story. When I was little, my mom was sick, and my sister had to tell us stories as like I was going to bed. Mm-hmm. And she would tell the same story every night. So this may not be a fairy tale for everybody else, but it's a fairy tale for me. And it's about a couple kids. Keep in mind, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, and we grew up in the boondocks, Indiana. So this is a huge deal. Where a couple kids went into a porta potty and they came out and they were in dreamland. And, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, like, she told me that story, like, 15 different versions of it when I was a child.
That's fun, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, we would walk out and it'd be, like, Candyland, or, like, there'd be things to do. There'd be castles. There'd be things to do. And you could always go back home. It was like a portal.
That's
portal
so cute.
potty.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody write that if they haven't already.
I know. Well, maybe we'll write a book.
Yeah.
It'll be...
And if you do write it off of this idea, then pay us money.
Yeah. TM.
Yeah.
But we should do it. It could be our first Stir the Pot book. Stir the Pot kids book. Portal potty. Transfer into another world.
That's such a long title.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay,
Anyways, so today we're talking about more Polish folklore.
Mm-hmm.
This is our official part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, go do it.
Yep.
We talked about some fun stuff. We had spirits.
A lot of water.
A lot of water, guys.
A lot of women.
A lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go support your girlies, listen to part 1.
We don't talk about horses. We don't talk about horses. No.
I was thinking, okay, so there's horses again a little bit today.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I was just like, they really gotta stop. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about vampires, werewolves, and dragons.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Also, I wrote the back half of this, yesterday, and the front half over 2 weeks ago. So
yeah.
I'm not going to remember anything in the beginning.
Our first episode about Bernie, I wrote that like 2 months prior. That's why it was a hot mess.
This is going to be so fun.
Okay.
Okay, vampires!
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so they're a really big deal in Polish folklore. So we're going to talk a little bit about, like, general vampires, and then a couple specific ones that I found, and there's one I'm so excited for.
I'm so excited. Was his name Edward?
No.
Good. That smile that you have on your face. I was more of a Mike Newton fan myself.
Vampires.
Okay, back to vampires.
Okay.
He was a human kid. Okay.
Okay, so the, like, general Slavic belief is that there's, like, a difference between your soul and body, and your soul can't die, and so they said that after death, your soul is going to go wander around for exactly 40 days, before it moves to an eternal afterlife. So you got 40 days to be a vampire.
Oh, so you're a vampire. Your soul is
the vampire part.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like what makes you rise from the dead.
Okay.
And so first we're going to talk about a couple of beliefs like with burying vampires and how to prevent you from being a vampire. Your soul also is supposed to haunt the workplace and your like home, your neighborhood first. Like those are You're a vampire. What are you doing first? Hitting your house, hitting your job.
Yeah.
Like
hiding the kids,
collect that last check.
Yeah, exactly. You always go to like the last places you were.
Yeah. This also is going to apply to souls that are more impure. And by impure, I mean people that died violent, untimely deaths, people that were murderers, children that weren't christened, other sinners. If there was a dead person, this is a wild one, that an animal jumped over, impure soul, vampire. Like if a bunny hopped over a dead body. Or a dog, like if you had a pet.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just kind of like trying to wrap my head around that.
That one's wild.
Mm-hmm.
You could also be a vampire if you were a witch. Because we know witches and vampires are at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Also some like, just random ones. If you were left-handed. If you had a limp. If you had a unibrow. If you had a gray mark on your back that was in the shape of shears. So specific. Like
so
they know
bizarre.
That's about one guy.
Shears is in like scissors?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that was targeted.
Yeah.
Whoever that guy is with the shears tattoo on his back, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
also, if you had a big head, vampire. And if you walked by moonlight. So if you were just a night owl, you're a vampire. Like some of these are just so silly.
that is very silly.
And then specifically women that died during childbirth, they were really vulnerable to be vampires. And they thought that like they're gonna come back and feed on the soul of the like orphan child. So
that's kind of sad.
It's very sad. But
now, and all of them because I know vampires can be a little weird.
Right.
For the most part, vampires survive on blood alone. Is that what they survive on? Okay.
Correct. Yeah. It's all very like typical
bloody
kind of vampire lore.
Yeah. Okay.
But all of this can be prevented. You don't have to be a vampire if you have a proper burial.
Even if I've got a unibrow?
If you have a proper burial, you're still susceptible.
Okay.
But we can try and limit our chances here.
All right, let's see.
So in like the old days, they did like fire and cremation and stuff, and they had a like specific like have to have a rectangle of birch and fill it with branches and then like burn the body. This is like old times.
Yeah.
Right. Because they were like, your soul will get closer to heaven if we burn it. So no vampire.
Oh, that's really interesting. I never really thought of like the reason of why people burn bodies, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another weird one that I found was like ritualized self-harm. Not a fan of that, but they were saying that like if a man's wife died, he had to do some sort of self-harm.
I know like even some like...
Don't like that at all. Nobody do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Have you ever watched The Da Vinci Code?
No.
There's this part... I love that movie, don't get me wrong. And one of my buddies really loves that movie too. But he takes like a whip that's got like... It almost looks like a mace. Like those old maces from medieval times.
Mm-hmm.
With spikes on it. And he like whips himself back and forth while he's praying. And it's like, okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
No. Pray. Don't do that part.
Don't do that part.
Yeah. But during your burial, to prevent you from being a vampire, you could carry the body through a window instead of a door.
Oh, so having a house jump over you is fine, but having an animal jump over you is a no-go.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after you carry the body through the window, you gotta put an axe at that threshold.
What if a dog jumps over me long ways? Hold on a second, I'm back on the dog. What if he jumps over me like from foot to like head?
I don't.
Because like that's an incredible feat, and I feel like I'd be giving that dog a high five. So like, if that's the case, sure, I'll be a vampire for you, buddy. Especially if it's like a damn chihuahua.
I'm imagining this though, like the person died in bed, and so the dog jumps from the feet just into the wall
and just slides down. Yeah.
That's why they're like, you're gonna be a vampire because the dog's injured now.
Yeah. That's probably exactly what happened.
Exactly
you tried to go long ways. Don't go long ways.
Don't go long ways.
It's sideways. Anyways,
that one's for the pets. Don't go.
So also don't go long ways out of a window. You won't fit. So when they go out of a window, they have to put an axe on the ground.
Yeah.
Outside the window.
No, like on the windowsill.
Oh, what if they drop you on the axe?
Don't.
Oh no, we dropped Aunt Betty. There goes her head.
I was trying to do the sad sound effect. That's so much worse than I anticipated.
There goes her head.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
But if you are going to carry a body out the door, you got to hit the casket on the wall 3 times.
Why is there a casket on the wall?
Like the body of the casket's in.
So I'm just envisioning this, okay? So here's this wall with a window on it, like the one I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to give this credit. This is a big window, okay?
It is a big window.
I mean, you can only open one at a time, but either way. So they take the casket, instead of laying it down, they go, whoop, and stand her upright. So then, old Aunt Betty, she's in there, she's laying down, she's good. Then they stand her up, and she's like... And then you're like, oh, let's put the axe down. Out the window you go. Let's make sure she's not a vampire. Whoop, we dropped Aunt Betty. Here goes the head. So now what? And then how do they get the casket out? Does the casket have to go out through the window?
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I'm just imagining Aunt Betty in her little casket just like deflates.
Yeah. And then you just see...
No. Out the window, long ways.
Long ways, not sideways.
Not sideways.
And over an axe.
Over an axe.
And do they have to follow it with the casket?
Like the axe part?
No, yeah, do they have to get the casket out the window, or can they bring that out front? Because they have to tap on it, you know? Or do they bury her without the casket?
I mean, I'm assuming that they're gonna bury her with the casket. Maybe.
I've seen weirder.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
They're just like, she's gotta go through the window, and then the casket has to go through the
Get the fuck out the window. So anyways.
You could also have a cemetery by water. Water is a natural barrier for vampires.
Okay. Apparently vampires can't swim.
No. Obviously.
Obviously. Duh. How would you expect them to hold their breath if they don't breathe? I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Okay. You could also dress the dead person in really festive clothing, super festive jewelry, or give them weapons. Which I think is wild, because if you're like, they're gonna be a vampire, why are we giving them an axe? Aunt Betty took it as she was being carried out the window.
Okay. They sound more like zombies.
Yeah, they're just carrying around these dead bodies with axes, and then they're like, oh, she cut me accidentally in the vampire. Now, in these stories, if you get bit by a vampire and they don't finish killing you, do you become a vampire? Yes, yeah. You can be turned vampire. You can be turned. Okay.
This is a mess. You, them.
Okay, so another way to, prevent being a vampire, I thought this one was interesting. If you, cremate the body, put the ashes in a clay jar, and then bury that jar under, the... entrance to your house, in that area, it's that person's soul is going to defend anyone that lives there, so they can't be a vampire.
Why does that not mean that they're a vampire to everybody else?
They're helping out.
Okay, good for them.
Very back to the 0 to 100.
0 to 100.
Yeah.
You're either a vampire and being carried through a window with an axe, or you're in a clay pot underneath my footstools outside. So.
Or after someone dies, you can ring a bell. That wards away evil spirits. Okay. You can also sprinkle some dirt into the grave, or some sort of seeds, because then the vampire has to count something, and he's too busy doing that to get out.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then the other one that I thought was interesting was that if you're at a wake, funeral kind of thing, family members are supposed to kiss the dead, and friends are supposed to clap the hand, touch the hands. Which every time I've gone to one of those, I've always touched the person's hand.
I'll tell you what, I don't touch them.
Really? I always do that. So I was like, oh, this is in my blood.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I never touch them.
I always touch them because then I feel like if they're at peace or not, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect people that touch them. I just, usually if I'm at a funeral, if we're getting we got real deep here. Usually if I'm at a funeral, it's for somebody that, like, was really important to me or somebody I didn't give two shits about.
Yeah.
And that makes me sound really bad, but I'm going for somebody else. And so if I'm going for somebody else, there's no reason for me to touch this person.
Correct.
I don't know them.
Correct.
And if it's my family member, I know that's not them, and it's too weird.
That makes sense.
So...
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily have a problem touching dead people, I guess.
Yeah,
I get
it.
One is for respect, and then one is because I care about them too much because they're my family.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
But that got real deep real quick. Anyways,
deep.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Nope. Left turn to... Not there. Okay.
So we're going to talk about a little bit more after the fact of vampire before we get into the fun part, which is vampire graves. This is, like, the first part that I started on, and this is a real thing that happened. Like, these are true stories. This isn't folklore.
I know a lot of vampire stories, like, people believe, and to this day they still believe them.
So, like, very 13th century, they were like, how do we bury these vampires? How do we make sure that they don't come back to haunt us if we can't do any of this other stuff? And so, the way that they buried these people was they would chop their head off, put them in the fetal position.
Like Aunt Betty.
Like Aunt Betty.
Was I right or was I right?
You didn't even know and you were prepared.
I didn't even know. I am psychic. Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of their bodies
fetal
in the
position,
fetal possession.
Head goes between the legs. And then they would do, like, a bunch of other weird shit, like metal studs through someone's tongue.
In the head between the legs.
Yeah. Or, like, if they didn't chop the head off, they would place, like, locks on their ankles and bury them that way. Yeah, if they cut the head off, it was so that they would just, like, run around like chickens when they came back instead of, like, having any focus. But there was, like, skeletons found that had, like, sickles over their, like, neck and face. The stake through the tongue was so that they couldn't drink anyone's blood. One child, they think he died of malaria, and then he had a brick shoved in his mouth.
What the
Like, these are real things that they found when they were, like, doing, like, construction and digging things up, and the, like, weird part about this, too, is they weren't in normal cemeteries, like, they were just randomly buried bodies.
Okay, so, if I was a person during that time, and I wanted to protect myself, randomly burying a body would not be the way I would go. I would get the best wood, the best locksmith, cement. I don't know if they had it back then.
Yeah.
And I would make sure that motherfucker can't get out.
Yeah. But they were like, no, if we cut your head off and put a brick in your mouth, you can't come get us as a vampire. Like, that's such a horrible way to treat a body.
Or even, like, what is it, New Orleans, where they have the cages over the bodies?
Yeah.
Like, even something like that.
Yeah, I think they found at least, like, 400 of these when they were doing, like, construction in one of their, like, main cities and, like, building the main square. I also found out, too, though, that, like, people that were considered vampires, and this is like, crazy, was that if they buried someone alive and that person got out, vampire. He was just fighting for his life.
That's crazy. And people got buried alive, like, regularly back then. That's why there's, like, the cemetery people that, like, watch the graves. That's why the bells, you know. That was, like, a thing. Oh, they're all fucking vampires. That makes a lot of sense.
So those were things where they actually discovered...
Brick in the mouth, yeah.
Brick in the mouth. So, now that we talked about all of that little, like, backstory.
Right.
Vampires!
Okay.
So the general term for vampire is... We're gonna try pronouncing together.
Okay.
This that little guy.
Upior.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Upior.
Yeah.
Vampire.
Yeah.
Here's where our horses come back in.
They're fucking horse vampires?
No. So if people were, like, concerned and, like, wanted to figure out, like, what grave might have a vampire, they would pick an innocent child from the town, throw him on a horse.
Was the horse drunk?
The horse was not drunk, I hope.
Thank God.
Unless he...
Did he recently have a haircut? That might be another problem.
Yeah, and then they would have the kid ride the horse through this graveyard and point out where the vampires were. That was, like, by the book, how to tell who's going to be
What
a
happens
vampire.
to the kid?
Oh, they're just hanging around with the horse.
Oh, they're
pointing
fine.
things out.
Okay.
They're just innocent, so they're like, nah, one right there.
And what do they
Another
do?
right there. They, like, flag them, you know.
Oh, they make sure that they watch those.
Yeah. Those are the guys.
They don't, like, dig them out and eat them or something.
No.
No.
So a little bit of, like, the traditional vampire belief. They suck the blood. They do that whole thing. They can't be seen in the mirror in the evening. And there was apparently a whole region in Poland where people would not look into mirrors after dusk for a certain amount of time.
Are you serious?
That was a real era where they were like, we're concerned, so we're just not going to.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. Would you rather know you're a vampire or not?
Yeah, I feel like I don't look in the mirror often anyways.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a passing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some other typical vampire descriptions is it could have been someone carrying their head in their arms. And if the head was still attached to the person, their eyes would glow like very wolf-like-y.
Okay,
kind of
like a yellow, yeah.
Yeah, they drank blood, they had superhuman strength, and they preferred to attack at night, but they could be out in the day. They had, like, no sunlight problems.
Right.
How they could hurt you was if anyone heard their shriek, they would die. And so these vampires would apparently, like, climb up on bell towers, scream, and just whoever heard it in the vicinity.
This is, like, a mix of, like, all these different, like, banshee and gargoyle and vampire and even werewolf.
It's kind of, like, all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, vampires were, like, the catch-all for all of these things.
Okay.
They killed people with their breath as well.
Do you remember, okay, I rarely quote SpongeBob, but do you remember that SpongeBob episode? It's one of the few that I know where he eats something nasty and his breath is so bad that everybody he talks to, like, dies.
Yeah.
But then he thinks he's ugly and he's like, I'm ugly and I'm proud. In the same voice as Do the Roar. Like, I don't know why that made me think of it. So, SpongeBob's a vampire.
SpongeBob's a vampire.
Yeah.
They would harass people at night and make them either sleepwalk or suffocate.
Sleepwalk or suffocate?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Nowhere in the middle.
Nowhere in the middle.
Okay.
But also, sometimes if they visited their family, they would help with chores. They'd be there around the house to do things.
Where the fuck are my vampires? What the hell?
Yeah. And so a lot of, like, cattle plagues and, like, sicknesses were blamed on witches and vampires, and it really caused problems in real life and caused innocent people to be accused and lynched and a whole bunch of shit because vampires were, like, really, really big.
Well, I
like,
know
these are
like,
the guy.
Yeah. So there's the Salem witch trials. Salem witch trials. There was the werewolf trials that were happening overseas in Britain, Scotland, Ireland area, and they were like they killed about as many people as the witch trials.
Yeah.
And it was the werewolf trials. That's what I was asking.
This is very
the same thing.
Same thing.
The vampire trials.
Vampire trials. So the one kind of vampire that you can be, because we have subsections, right? We've got, like, the main general guy, is
an energy vampire.
A Veshi, the Vjesci, however you would say that.
Vici?
Yeah. So this was a person, this is from birth. This is the, like, you're a vampire the day you're born kind of thing. If the baby was born with a really thin membrane that just, like, sometimes sticks to some infants, they were like, that you're destined to be a vampire. So the ritual there was they would take that piece of skin, dry it out, and it had to be fed, like, ground up and fed to the kid on their 7th birthday. And if that's not done, they'll still live a really comfortable life, but when they die, they're just for sure, like, no matter what you do, could carry them through the window, whatever, they're going to become a vampire no matter what.
And they wonder why people back then didn't live as long.
Yeah.
How the fuck did they store this shit? Make it like jerky?
I don't know.
Here, have some mucus.
In my head, it was very, like, powdery. Like, they dried it out to a powder. Instead of a
like
jerky.
Beef, like snot beef jerky.
Well, they said it was like a thin membrane, so I don't. For 7 years, that can't be jerky.
What is it?
Unless they smoked it, like, you know.
They said ingest it. We'll feed it to them. Okay.
Yeah, and they said grind it up, so powder.
You know what? I don't want to think about this.
Yeah,
anymore.
we don't have to think about it.
No more membranes.
But so the ways to spot this vampire, if they didn't do their ritual or whatever, right? They would specifically, when they died, refuse sacrament. So, very religion, bringing all that back in. If their body cooled down real slow, and their limbs, like, were limber, and their cheeks were rosy, and spots of blood appeared on their fingers and their face.
After they died.
Yeah. So that just sounds like a disease that they had.
They had rosacea. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? Sorry, I had rosacea.
Yeah. Vampire.
You never heard of psoriasis? I would be the sassiest vampire and ghost on the face of the planet. Just because I could be. Anyways, go ahead.
If nobody stopped this transformation through any of these steps, after midnight, the person would rise, eat their own clothing and some of their own flesh, and then leave the grave to attack their family for blood first, and then they would go to the neighbors and just wander around after that.
Okay.
Which I thought it was interesting that the vampire was kind of like cannibalism.
Family cannibalism.
Yeah, and like eating his own, like why he's just biting his hand.
Yeah.
You know?
That's bizarre, because I have a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
And I don't even understand where to start, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, to protect yourself from this, you have to take sacrament, obviously.
Yep.
And then you're supposed to place a coin under the person's tongue for them to suck on, so that they are like, oh, this is blood, I guess.
That's so funny, because in other places, there's like put coins under the tongue or on the eyeballs to pay the... Yeah, sorry. That's interesting. Okay.
And then back to, like, also putting the seeds in the coffin so they can count. Next vampire, who I think is real fun. She's my girly.
Can you smell right now? Like, is your scent...
Yeah.
Smell this. Just the tip of it.
Ooh.
Oh, I know. Sorry.
That's so fun.
Oh, my God. It's watermelon something, and I've never had this before, and, like, fuck, this is good.
So good.
Yeah, I know. It tastes as good as it smells. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna have you do the pronunciation again.
Okay.
It is that guy.
Striga.
Yeah.
Now, correct, I might not be doing well.
We could be doing horrible. We don't know.
I did have a busha, and any one of these that I'm mispronouncing, she would be turning in her grave right now.
Yeah.
So I'm very sorry, but
sorry
I'm doing my
if we're
best.
pronouncing these wrong. We're trying.
Yeah. And I feel like these I don't have to look up as much. The other ones I, like...
Yeah, last episode they had a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot, and I'm like, I have to look that one up.
Yeah. So this is a female demon. And she really is that girl.
Okay.
She is like a cross almost. The way she looks is sort of owl-like.
Okay.
And it's kind of a cross, they said, between an owl and a baboon, depending on what day you're feeling.
Okay.
She is depicted as having blue skin.
I need to look this up, because this is a lot going on right now.
It's a lot.
Okay.
She's kind of like blue, translucent-y vibes. And these specific sort of vampires are people that are born with 2 hearts, 2 souls, and 2 sets of teeth. Was that actually a thing that happened?
Mm-hmm.
No. But the idea behind the 2 souls is that, like, one went to the afterlife and then one didn't.
So some of these are fucking adorable.
Yeah, some of them are cute and some of them are terrifying.
That looks like the mate of the last one you showed me.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's not that girl.
But then I see this. Beautiful.
Beautiful. I have one picture.
And then I see this one. This one is how I would probably envision it the most.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was just going to pull up.
Because I feel like I can see the baboon just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like enough. Oh, but this one's blue. That one's kind of hot.
She's that girl.
I might want a tattoo of a striga.
Honestly, do it.
Oh, I even pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyways, okay.
But yeah, so 2 hearts, 2 souls. One soul went to the afterlife, one's preying on the living. This could also be people that didn't have armpit hair.
Why? Okay.
Yeah, they're like their requirements to being a vampire are just all over the place.
Yeah. Because some people just don't have it.
Yeah. Or if they were a child who developed teeth real early.
Okay. That's weird because some kids are born with teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vampire.
Okay.
They just had a lot of
That's fair though, because I've seen a baby. Have you seen a baby with teeth?
Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah. There was one time I was a flight attendant years ago, and this was like after Twilight. And so I saw that stupid baby that they had that like was AI generated and was really rough. But I was on a flight and I see this lap baby, so under a year old, and it looked at me and it had a full fucking set of teeth, and I was just like, absolutely not.
No.
And he's like, hi, and I'm like, no.
So her kind of whole deal is that she likes to fly at night. She can feed on animals, but she prefers humans. And she really likes to go for people who are traveling late at night in the woods. And in addition to just like sucking their blood and doing that whole thing, she eats your insides. She rips you open.
I love her.
I love her. And to protect yourself against her, you have to slap her in the face with your left hand.
What if I'm left-handed? I know, I ask the hard questions that everybody's
Try
thinking.
again.
Yeah. Try again.
Yeah.
No, you gotta do your right hand that time.
Yeah, but I just
Okay.
think that's so funny. Like, her right hand
interesting.
unfazed. Left hand, she's like, damn.
Yeah, damn it. You fucked me. You
Yeah.
fucked me over. Interesting.
To protect your house against this, you had to sprinkle poppy seeds
On the left side.
in the shape of the cross
Oh.
in every single corner of your house. So a lot of poppy seeds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she attacked people at the night, so they were like, don't go in the woods at night.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna get you.
Okay.
And I just think she's great.
Mm-hmm.
I have
like
no
her.
problems.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna talk about her male counterpart.
I saw that on there and I was trying not to spoil anything for myself.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Okay.
Because she is just like ripping out people's insides, and he is kind of similar in a lot of ways. But the picture that I saw about him was just like some dude with a mustache, essentially.
Are you serious?
Yeah, hold on, let me find the one that I had.
It was like Strezgayan, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, shut up.
Like, there's another owl bird one. Yeah! Okay, hold on.
Oh my god.
Hold on, there's another owl bird guy.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is terrifying.
Yeah, there's also this guy.
Saw that one.
Yeah, but that's the picture that I saw that I was just like, it's very...
Ew.
It's very this.
Ew.
Ooh, I kind of like that picture, actually,
Me
though.
too, I'm
like,
gonna say it too.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one, because I feel like that, to me, is a more accurate description.
Yeah, that's more...
But it's rough.
That's a good one, but it's not as, like... Because the girlies, on all of the stories that we've talked about, have been like... Yes, and then the men are just like, no.
And that one was like, we have to post both of them.
Yeah,
like, you have to post that cartoon motherfucker, because that looks like, oh, I like rusty spoons. That's like the same cartoon.
Yes.
What was his name? Salad Fingers.
Yes. Okay.
I like rusty spoons. Okay.
Yeah. So he was more helpful to people.
Okay.
He would like show up and he would help out in the town. He would tend to the fields, kind of thing. Men were real susceptible to becoming this vampire if they were sleepwalking, talking to themselves, or pale.
Okay.
Okay. Again, it's kind of the same. Like, your body doesn't decompose, stays a little limp, has some blood still to it.
Rosacea.
Yeah. After he emerged, instead of going straight to his family, he would go to the church and either destroy or, like, chew on a candle, specifically. You were, like, ready to say something as I was saying destroy church, and then I said candle, and you just,
I thought
like,
you were going to say
stopped.
child, and I was going to be like, oh, that's where the stuff comes from with the men and the children. But you said candle. And I went, oh.
Like, the women straight to the point, rip out your insides. The man is like, some wax.
Yeah. I just couldn't do some wax, thank you.
Or if he went outside, this is real funny too, in a weird way, he could take the shape of a young woman to tempt the priest of the church.
The priest can't be tempted. He's married to God. What would you suggest that he's gonna do? What's he gonna do? You're suggesting something nice?
And then the priest is just like, here's a candle.
Yeah,
Eat it. So this guy...
I hate myself. Anyways, candle motherfucker.
So he specifically liked to breathe into you and, like, suck your breath to drain your life before
Dementor!
Yeah, like, very that vibe. He would do that and then take your blood. And so they said if you didn't slap him with your left hand, another, like...
He was another left-hand slapper.
He was another left-hand slapper.
Only left hand.
Only left hand.
But we were unconfirmed about if you're left-handed.
Yeah,
If you have to do your right hand or if you're left hand.
Yeah, do your left hand. Still
left hand, no matter what. Okay, so left hand,
but
left
the
hand.
other, like, there was an account of this, that they were like, this is how it started spreading, was you could shove a sausage in his mouth. And so he is described as a lover of sausage and vodka. And the girl is just ripping out your intestines, and he's over there having a snack.
I hate to tell you, but I think in this story I might like him more. I might like him a lot more.
I support her in some ways, but he is just wild.
Just have a hot little mini, thank you. Do you feel better? Good. Good. You can fix that unibrow right up with that rosé shot. It's fine. That's fine. While he's trying to seduce the priest.
Well, not only was he seducing the priest...
Oh yeah, he was sucking on sausages.
He's sucking on sausages.
And candles. He likes things that shaped. Have you seen those videos that I hate? I'm sorry that we're going off on this tangent. But have you seen those videos where it's like those nurses that are like, no.
Yes.
No.
I have.
No. No.
I think it would have been so funny if you have the little like grenade thing on your table if you would have picked that up and been like,
no. In case you're curious, I have an actual grenade on the table. I'll take a picture and we'll post it with this episode.
Where's the one on here?
Yeah. I'm going to take a picture of the grenade here real quick. Okay, sorry. Anyways, go ahead. I'm listening.
So not only though was he seducing the priest, but he could go and visit his wife, help her around with like cleaning, tending the farms, chopping wood, and he could also still conceive children.
How?
He was really known for it.
Does he work? Does he work?
Apparently.
Meaning like work?
The children were apparently real pale and would die young often, but...
Because they ate their fucking snorty cocaine-ass mucus motherfucking shit. That's why they're dead.
There was like one story that was like he had 7 kids after he died. So he's just eating sausages, tending to the fields, having kids. He's living like the best life he could in death. And then this like owl lady is just like foraging for her life.
I'm gonna eat you. Nah, here, have a sausage.
Yeah.
I made the sausage for you.
Yeah. To get him to go away, his wife could sit there and braid her hair and say she met someone new. And, like, the braids were significant, something because of culture. I didn't look into that part too much because I got distracted with the rest of this.
I don't know what's happening.
But if you were his wife, you could braid your hair and say, I met someone new, and he would get jealous and leave.
That's it?
Yeah. Or, to avoid a man becoming this one, chop off his balls.
Why is it so extreme? Like, I'm meeting somebody new. Okay, or, whatcha? Like... We don't have a karate chop noise, I don't think, sadly. But
no.
Yeah, no thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening right now.
A lot happening.
Okay, so, chop his balls off to get him to leave.
Yeah.
Or just say, hey, I'm seeing somebody else.
Yeah.
While braiding your hair.
Which is so funny, too, like, if you didn't really, and you're just like, this guy's gotta go. Like, I
Yeah.
thought I was done when he died.
Yeah.
Now I have 7 more kids, and I have to buy so many sausages.
I'm going broke here. Like, bro, and you keep sleeping with the fucking priest, man. I don't know what to tell you. These kids aren't even mine. They were yours from when you got pregnant with the priest.
Yeah.
You said he could have kids, and if he can change his gender, maybe the kids are his.
Oh.
These are all your kids from having sex with the priest. You got to take care of them. I'd like to see somebody else. Thank you. I wish that's how it worked.
Yeah. I love the stories that you craft from these.
Well, you have to craft them.
I know. They're
Because
so
they're
beautiful,
Thank
though.
you.
Like,
I have, like, a picture in my head of this, like, woman with brown hair that just has a resting bitch face.
And the horse that's in the stable.
Oh, the
having
horse.
a wild night.
God,
Go listen to part 1, guys.
Yeah, he got fucked. I don't have that button either, but... Anyways, sorry, back to the unibrow, pale, rosacea guy. And his wife braiding her hair.
Yeah.
And chopping his balls off.
Yeah. Vampires.
Yeah.
There you go. That's kind of the, like, overview. There's so many.
Yeah.
But those were the ones that really stood out to me.
I love that.
We're going to talk a little bit about werewolves.
Oh,
I know
asked
that
about
you were
this, yeah.
asking about this.
You know that was, like, one of my first tattoos, right?
No.
I have a wolf on my back, yeah.
Oh. Oh. There's not a lot of these.
Okay.
There's not a lot of wolves in Poland. They're really focused on, like, that woodland fairy spirit kind of thing. They do have some shape-shifting guys, which I'll talk about one of them a little bit. But werewolf in, like, the European tale was more about Christianity.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know this, yeah. I'm picking up what
you're
you're
turning people to a different religion. And so in Poland, the guy that was, like, associated with this was Saint Nicholas.
I love this.
Santa
Please keep
Claus
going.
is a werewolf.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with
And
this.
in Ireland, St. Patrick.
This is the song that never ends. It goes on and... That's not the song I was looking for. It was, it's a small world after all.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I love this.
So,
Okay, keep going.
Trying to turn them to a different religion. And I just think it's so funny that Santa Claus is also like a werewolf on the side.
I love that. St. Patrick, too?
Yeah.
I love that.
That's just what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Other, like, stories of werewolves are they're just being turned by a witch. Specifically, though, if they, like, didn't have the same feelings towards a woman or were unfaithful to a woman. Werewolf.
So... Can you be a werewolf and a vampire?
You know what? Why not?
Stragon Stretsky. Sorry, you just can't. I never looked at the pronunciation. I'm sorry. I didn't even look at the word. He is having affairs with the fucking priest, having his 7 kids. He's already a vampire. Is he now a werewolf? This bitch tit. I would like to see other people. You guys can't see me, but every time I do that, I pretend to braid my hair.
Yeah. So the protection for werewolves, again, 0 to 100.
Okay.
Carrying around pitchforks, doing the stabs, doing the violence, or give them bread.
I've never seen a dog that would prefer bread over, like, meat.
Yeah. Or you could also just say their name. Say the werewolf's name. Very kind of Rumpelstiltskin-y.
Hi, Shaggy. What do they do when you say the name? They just go... Like a puppy.
You're protected. Yeah.
Okay.
All good. The one shape-shifting spirit, though, that did stand out.
I like shapeshifters.
You want to take a stab at his name?
Like Zerzeppa or Reb... I can't do the second one.
Yeah.
But that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a shape-shifting mountain spirit.
Okay.
He was the guardian of the poor.
Okay.
And his tale is real quick.
And we aren't trying to be offensive about not pronouncing the names.
Yeah, we just don't want to, like, totally mess it up.
We don't want to... Yeah, I just want people to know that I'm not trying to be offensive.
Yeah.
Now, when I pronounce...
It's hard.
When I pronounce Illinois with an S, I am trying to be offensive. But, like, these I am not. But, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely. No, thank you for clarifying that again, because, like... I really just don't know how to say this.
Right.
And I'm trying. It's really interesting. I want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. There was this beautiful princess that refused advances from everybody. And he was like, I like her. And she also really liked turnips. So he was like, girl, I'm going to give you turnips. So he kidnapped her.
I'm a turn up. Thank you. That works.
That was so...
That was good. That was so good. Girl, I'm going to turn up. Sorry. So every once in a while I have one, and that was one of them.
Yeah. So he kidnapped her.
Okay.
And was like, here.
He didn't turn up. She's about to turn up missing is what's going to happen.
So he kidnapped her and was like, here's some turnips, girl.
Why the fuck turnips? Turn down. What? Don't say it. We're moving on. She's kidnapped. Unless they have more to do with the story. They do. God damn it.
So he gave her all these turnips and she turned them into friends.
She turns them into friends? I can't handle this story. This is not a shapeshifter.
But then they would turn down and wilt.
And her friends would die?
Yeah. Because they're turnips.
Because they're fucking turnips. Her friends would die. Why? Because they're dead friends. Next up. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of Turnip Land.
Ripped up.
What?
Ripped up. Her friends were being ripped up.
Because they were fucking turnips. They were getting eaten and put on a salad. I don't know anybody that eats a turnip on a salad.
Friends aren't food.
I was about to say, don't befriend your food.
You are what you eat.
Yeah.
So all this to say... I'm sorry.
Turnips.
All this to say, after a while, she's like, I'm gonna leave.
Wait, I forgot even what we were talking about.
Same. Thank
There
you
was
for
a
reminding. I was like, I just don't need to say this again.
There was a woman that had turnip friends.
Beautiful woman, loved turnips. This guy was like, I'll impress you her all the
Oh,
turnips
yes,
and
she was
kidnap you."
kidnapped. He didn't turn up for what?
No. Ooh, so then she would turn the turnips into friends. And they would wilt and die because turnip.
But he wasn't a turnip. Okay.
No. So she's like, I have to leave. I can't do this anymore. So she asked him to go in the field and count all of the growing turnips.
Shut the fuck up.
And while he was distracted, she left.
She turned out. I can't breathe. How many turnips were there? None. They were people. They were her friends. But they died because they were turnips.
He just had, like, ever supply of these guys. He's like, he was like, you like this thing? That's your whole personality.
Your whole personality is turnips. I wonder if she liked turnips because she liked turnips and then became the turnip friend person, or she had the ability to turn friends into turnips before. Right? Did that question make sense?
Yeah.
Like, did she have the ability to make the friends?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't
Maybe
care.
she
We
was
gotta
just
get out
bored.
of We gotta get away from turnips.
She liked turnips. He tried to turn up, and she was not turned on.
And she was turned out. And she turned him down.
Yay!
Woo! Okay.
Don't include the rest of the story in this podcast, just that one segment where we have it together.
No, I have to. This is too fun.
So that's his little backstory.
So that's his little backstory.
And so he demanded that you call him the Lord of the Mountains.
The turnip guy did? What? The turnip mountain?
Because if you said his name, he got mad. When he kidnapped her, he took her to the mountains. And
Where the
so
turnips
he
live.
said, you gotta call
Duh.
you say my name with respect.
If you don't, we turn up in this bitch. I can't.
Okay, but now he's great.
Now he supplies turnips to all the orphan children.
No, he doesn't even do turnips anymore. Too traumatic.
He's moved to radishes.
He likes to teach medicine.
To who? Turnips?
Anyone that crosses his path. He's like, let me show you a trick. I'm so lonely.
Listen, I'm a turn up.
Or he likes to give people sourdough too. He really was like, what can I do with my time now that I got all these turnips and no one to.
He became friends with the turnips.
Yeah.
And then they wilted and died.
If you do wrong him though, he'll send lightning, thunder, and fog.
Okay, but not turnips.
Not turnips. He also likes to test the heart of people to see if they're pure. So if anyone is up in the mountains and sees him, which he can take any appearance, that's the shape-shifting part, not the turnips. He can shape-shift into an old woman, a troll, bears, wolves, whatever he's feeling that day. He wears a disguise.
I'm just imagining a turnip hat. And I just really want a turnip hat.
Shapeshifts, wears disguises, whoever he wants to be. Animal, woman, troll, whatever. And he also tests the heart of people to see if they're pure. If you offer him assistance while you're around, he'll give you hidden treasure.
Oh, kind of like a leprechaun.
Yeah. So he's like a mix of a lot of things.
Does he have the turnip hat? I don't know if we caught the turnip hat.
Yeah.
We had to stop because my thing died.
Yeah.
He better give me the fucking turnip hat.
Turnip hat.
Turn up for what?
So yeah, he's kind of like, he's got the counting the turnips, which is the very vampire part of it.
Yeah.
The shape-shifty, like, yeah. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Actually.
I love this. Okay.
And so the last thing that Polish folklore mentions a lot is dragons and a basilisk.
Oh, I love those. Okay.
So really quickly to touch on dragons, there's I think it's pronounced smock.
Okay.
And this is a guy who starts as a normal, non-venomous snake. And then after 40 years of living, dragon.
Love it.
He put in his time.
Evolves.
Yeah. Dragons either have multiple heads, they're tricksters, they're shapeshifters.
Wings.
Sometimes they turn into humans for those sexual purposes, as all of these guys do, apparently. You know, the snake was like, let me slide into her DM.
I'm a Slytherin. Won't you open that griffin door? I don't know why I made that fucking noise. Apparently that's what dragons make. Okay.
Yeah. They were kind of real, too, like the dragon guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, based on dinosaurs.
Oh.
That they were kind of, doing. Whatever.
Now the shape-shifting ones.
Yeah.
I mean, to your discretion, you do what you need to do.
Yeah. Live your life.
Mm-hmm.
The most famous one, though, was known as the Dragon of Wowell Hill, I believe. Is that how you say it? Sorry again about the pronunciations.
Okay.
But according to the legend, this evil dragon caused a path of destruction to go across the countryside. And so he had 7 heads. He had a lot to maintain.
Yeah.
But he was doing it all.
Okay.
Killing people, destroying livestock, pillaging homes.
Well, that's 7 mouths to feed.
7, yeah. I wonder if it's like 7 deadly sins kind of idea with like all the religion.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he was really going for it. He did have a preference for cattle. Like, that was something I found in the research. It was like, he preferred cattle, but if he couldn't get it, person is fine.
Oh, okay.
So he was really for the cows.
Yeah.
He also really enjoyed snacking on young maidens.
Ooh.
Or virgins.
Mm-hmm.
He was, like, all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maidens. So he was snacking. Everybody was trying to stop him.
I said nothing!
I know. Everyone is trying. You're making too many faces. And you got cat TV going. There's too much happening in this direction.
I'm sorry. We have cat. Do you want me to turn off cat TV?
No, it's so fun.
Okay.
I want to know where the mouse goes, where the bird is.
The cats love it, usually. They're just hiding.
I get it.
Yeah.
So anyways, everyone's trying to stop him. They can't do it. They're not successful. Until Crocus comes around.
Krampus?
Crocus.
Crocus, like the ham.
Like the ham. Yeah.
Not livestock.
No. So he's got 2 sons. Crocus the second.
And Porky. Wilbur!
I'm going to spell this out and then you're going to say the name. Because my brain can't comprehend words.
Let me see. Oh, Lake.
Lake?
Yeah.
Okay. In my head I was reading it as Leech.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, I think that's Lake.
Lake and Crocus the second were put on the task. They're the sons of Crocus. And so they were like, we gotta try. So they're trying to fight this guy, not winning. He's got 7 heads. What are they gonna do?
There's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
And no ham.
7 heads, 4 hands.
Not the ham.
Not the ham. So they ended up taking, like, the skin of a cow and put a bunch of sulfur in it, threw it in there, and fed it to the dragon.
One of the heads.
No, all the heads. All the heads were snacking.
Okay.
And so everybody knows that dragons can't digest sulfur. Everybody. Everybody knows.
Well, duh.
And so the dragon was killed by their little trick. Yeah. Then the 2 brothers ended up fighting, though, because they were like, well, I slayed the dragon. And then the other guy was like, no, I did it. And this is where the, like, story and the whole, like, legend gets confusing, because some people say that Lake killed Crocus, and that was, like, one version of it. But the other version is that Crocus killed Lake. He took the throne after his dad died. People found out, and he expelled him from the country, and then Princess Wanda took over.
There's so much to unpack in that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I believe the second one, because which do we remember, Lake or Crocus?
Right.
I'll tell you what, ham. Bacon. Huh?
There's also a version of the story where it was a shoemaker that killed the dragon instead. And dragons can't swallow sulfur, and he was real thirsty after it, so he went and drank out of the river until he was just drinking and drinking and drinking until he burst. You're not saying anything, but
because
your
I don't know what to
faces
say
through this whole story as like a whole.
Why? Wouldn't you notice? Oh, this tastes a little sulfury. Like
The dragon was just like snack.
So my question is if one head wanted the water and the rest of the heads were like, no.
No, they were all real thirsty.
Oh, okay.
They all had.
They all shared one brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the shoemaker ended up being rewarded with marrying Princess Wanda, which is how she took power.
Princess Wanda.
Yeah.
You and these fucking names.
Yeah. As I wrote these notes, I was like, me and these names.
Yeah, Wanda. What?
So there's also a statue of this dragon in Poland.
But not Wanda. Or Krampus.
I don't know. I just know there's a dragon. And the dragon statue has 7 heads and breathes fire like every 5 minutes.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is fun. Okay, last Polish folklore story that I have is the basilisk. So the basilisk is, we all know basilisk.
A snake egg and a chicken.
Yeah, so the story from Poland was that it's either like born by the moon or Medusa's blood, and it's snake hatching from a rooster egg that was incubated by a toad.
Oh, I didn't know the toad.
So we got the toad. Very deadly, withers the landscape. Kills
That's
with
totally
its
new
glare.
to me.
Even if you look at this guy, could be dead.
Could be dead.
Like he's got it all. And then the stories here, he's like 12 fingers in length, but he's real deadly. Small, but a killer. Basilisk.
I'm a killer, Bella.
So, anyways, like, this is the skin of a killer, as those brothers were putting the casket over the sulfur.
It's the skin of a killer, Bella.
This is the skin of a killer crocus.
This is the skin of a killer Wanda. Anyways,
Okay.
back to the skin.
Anyways, so the most famous, like one of the real famous basilisk stories comes from Warsaw in 1587.
Okay.
So, anyways, there's this, I'm not even gonna say this guy's name, but going from Wanda to that.
Fuck off. Marcus. We'll call him Marcus.
So he's a swordsmith.
Okay.
And he has a 5-year-old daughter, and she's playing with a friend. They disappear.
Poof.
Yeah, randomly.
Are you surely one on the horses in the cemetery?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making
The
sure.
mom goes looking for them. Their nursemaid goes looking for them. Can't find them anywhere.
Poof.
The nursemaid ends up going to the cellar, which apparently had fallen into ruins 30 years earlier. And she sees the 2 girls laying on the ground. And they're not moving. They're not responding.
They
nothing.
dead.
They're dead. So she is screaming at these girls, like, wake up, whatever she's saying, whatever they're saying in 1587. And the mom ends up coming downstairs because she's hearing this. The lady's she can't scream anymore, so she's like, I'm just going to go walk over there, see what's going on. She drops. She's also dead now. So the mom freaks out, runs upstairs, and is like, I gotta tell people what happened. Story of what happens spreads through the town, and people are just like, you know what, now that you're saying something, I noticed that the air was kind of thick and hard to breathe. There was a basilisk in that cellar.
Like, this is an actual story?
Yeah, this is like written down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the basilisk caused the air to be thick
Yeah.
and heavy to breathe.
They were like, you know what, that's it. Basilisk.
Oh.
Case closed.
Closed. It's
So the Senate.
It's probably called like a gas leak.
Basilisk.
Okay.
So the Senate ends up getting called for an emergency meeting. The chief physician to the king, who has like over 50 years of experience, ends up like taking long poles that have iron hooks on the end of them to pull the bodies out, because he can't go in there.
No.
Right. So he gets the bodies out, and apparently his record says that they were swollen, discolored, and had protruding eyes.
Gas leak.
And that guy was like, if I've ever seen one, basilisk poisoning. I know what I'm talking about. Basilisk.
That venom, it's a bitch.
Yeah. So he's like, someone's gotta go do something. We gotta get this creature. I'm not gonna do it. Somebody should.
It's in the cellar.
Yeah. But he won't go do it because it's a basilisk.
Right.
Yeah. So they're like, we need somebody, volunteer, men, police, military, whatever it was at the time called.
Let me guess. A woman goes over and kills it.
No, none of those guys did it.
Oh, it stayed there.
They got a prisoner named John.
Okay, so John.
And he was sentenced to death for robbery. And they were like, listen, if you go get this basilisk, pardon. You're good. Just go get this guy. Mm-hmm. And so he ends up going to do it. They give him this whole, like, suit because apparently the physician said the only way to protect yourself is to wear a leather suit that's covered in mirrors, and you have to have, like, a torch with you. So he had these, like, spiffy glasses on, mirrors head to toe, torch. Hook, I'm gonna get this basilisk.
That's 12 fingers long, which that is 6 inches.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes in. Apparently they said like 2,000 people are standing around like watching him go into the cellar, and they're like cheering him on. He spends an hour in the cellar, comes out, basilisk in hand, doing his little basilisking.
Basilisking? You're doing like a belly dance with the basilisk, like what are you doing? So we found a snake in there, though.
He found the basilisk.
Okay.
Not a snake.
Oh yeah, the basilisk.
Not a snake. He finds the basilisk in there. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as he comes out with that in hand, all those people that were cheering on run. They scatter.
Well, was it alive?
Yeah, he was basilisking.
Oh, he was dancing with the basilisk. Wait, what's happening? He was alive? Was the basilisk alive? Or was the basilisk dead?
No, they're both alive.
Then why is he dancing with the basilisk? Why does he kill it?
Okay, he came out like this. And the basilisk came out like this.
I thought him and the basilisk are like do 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 do. Ready to dance, guys?
Yeah, all the mirrors are like a disco ball.
Turn up for what? With the glasses.
With 2,000 people, that's like, and Basilisk is the first like EDM concert.
And he's got his flame, so he's like a disco ball.
Yeah.
I wish these were recorded. Okay.
So the guy's like, I got him, and the basilisk is slithering. There's a better word for it, because he's alive, but he's got him on this hook. So he's alive, and he's fish out of water. What's the word?
I don't give a shit. So anyways, so he gets...
He was basilisk. The doctor, they end up killing the basilisk.
Cool.
Lives are saved. The doctor's like, I'm going to examine this to make sure, to see what it is. And he said that it had the head of a rooster, the eyes of a toad, a crest like that was like looked like a crown, and a curved tail. And he said, basilisk. And that's the last part of this account. But it is like a famous Warsaw basilisk of 1587. Like, that was a famous account of
Holy shit. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If we don't do the basilisk dance next time we go out, like, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah.
To turn up for what? You're still trying to catch your breath.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode.
I just want to incorporate basilisking into my vocabulary now.
You did fantastic. Those are both really good.
Thanks.
I love
had a
them.
lot of fun looking into them.
Isn't it fun?
And now I feel like I've scratched enough of an itch on this that I'm like, I can stop.
Uh-huh.
And I was trying to figure out what to talk about like the next couple episodes. I just Google random shit sometimes, and then I'm like, I just want to know one fun fact, and I'm like, this is the whole episode.
Yeah, I know.
So we're gonna talk about some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally during your episode, I write down little things, I take notes and whatever. There's like 3 things that I wrote down that I want to talk about. One is the dogs that jump off the bridge in Scotland, that one bridge. I've been wanting to do that one, but I also have to remember what I've done before, so.
Yeah.
But anyways. the reefer review. Once again, I smoked the Blue Z or Blue Skittles. I liked this. I thought this was pretty good. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, this was pretty nice. And we even, like, got shit done today. So, like, I was able to do shit, but I also thought it was a good high. But anyways, even though it's 4.5 out of 5 puffs, it's still only puff, pass.
You get so creative.
I try. Because I hate my voice.
Yeah, that is the one thing about, like, listening back to this. I'm like, ooh.
I know. I'm like, and now that, like, I have to do the editing, it's like, shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Polish folklore. That's all.
I love it.
All the things. There's still so much, but honestly, I need to move on.
Yeah. Maybe we'll come back to it. We'll make a part 2.
There's a lot of really cool things.
Folklore,
part 85.
Yeah, part 85.
Yeah. But yeah, if you didn't listen to part 1, go do that. Follow us on social media. StirThePot _pod.
Email us at stirthepot.dv, as in Velma, at gmail.com. Send us a request.
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah, we've got stickers if you want some. Just let us know.
Yeah.
We'll get you stickers.
And remember, if you're not staying dangerous, you better be basilisking.